Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Vision Stage here at the Finance Magnates Singapore Summit. My name is Natasha, and I'm very happy to welcome you to our first ever summit in Singapore. This is an important milestone as we expand into one of Asia's most dynamic fintech hubs. We are proud to continue building across the region after successful events in Australia, Bangkok, and Hong Kong. Singapore is a natural step as we are excited to connect key decision makers from across Asia and beyond. Today, we will look at AI, digital assets, liquidity, and what it takes to build and grow in this market. So whether you're a broker, platform builder, investor, or partner, welcome to Vision Stage. Let's begin. AI is moving from experiment to real business use. For brokers and platform providers, the question is no longer whether to use AI, but how to use it in a way that helps clients and support the business. This session brings together retail brokers, platform builders, and AI providers to discuss how AI tools are changing trust, performance, and risk. Welcome our moderator, Vince De Castro, and from Equity Trading, and our panelists, and let's get started. Please welcome them with a round of applause.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Vince De Castro. I'm head of marketing for Acuity Trading. We provide AI-powered market intelligence for brokers, and we tell traders why markets are moving, what's happening in the markets, and what to do next. So yes, I think this is going to be a really interesting panel discussion today. AI getting real for brokers, I think, is a good sign of where we are in the industry. We're no longer in experimentation. I think we're now in implementation for AI. And I'd love to just get the panel to do a quick introduction of who you are and who you work for, and we'll get started.
Thanks, Vince. My name's Adam Phillips. I'm the CEO of fxtrading.com. We're a multi-asset broker based in Sydney, Australia. And definitely for us, AI has moved beyond theory and now is a practical tool.
Hi, my name is Carney. So I represent FXHB as a partner. My profile is pretty unique in here because I cover three aspects of things. So I run a family office investing in AI products. My family office also consists of portfolios of CFD and Forex crypto exchange companies where I be a consultant and a strategy officer on it. And last but not least, I hold a rally trading fund that is powered by AI as well. So more than happy to share with you guys.
Hi, good morning. My name is Yaki Razmovich. I'm the managing director for eToro and Singapore and Asia. For those who don't know eToro, eToro is a global investment and trading platform that empower 40 million users across the world to invest and trade in a very simple and transparent way.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name's Thomas. I am the director of Bridgewise's CFD and RFB, which is the Retail Forex Broker Division. We are an AI intelligence company providing analysis, advice, and information regarding trading, pre-trading, and how to trade and what to trade. So it's perfect for this panel.
Hello everyone, my name is Tug. I'm from Mongolia. I'm a founder of IC Candle AI-powered analytic tool. I'm also CTO of well-known broker in Asia. Nice to be being here, and thank you for the opportunity for sharing my ideas here.
Excellent. All right, so let's get started with the first question. So where does AI sit in your business today? Is it still a layer on top, or is it shaping the core trading experience? Thomas, would you like to get started?
Hi, thanks, Vince. So as I mentioned earlier, Bridgewise is an AI intelligence platform. So it's for us, it's core to our technology. It's not a top layer. It's built well within the core of all of our products, and we deploy into the brokers in order for traders and the brokers themselves to consume the information and the analysis that we're providing in order to increase revenues, generate business. So it's definitely a core part of our technology, for sure.
Yaki, would you like to anything to follow up?
Yeah, definitely. So eToro is already an AI-first company, which means we've already embedded AI across the platform and across the whole user journey, from onboarding through making decisions of what to buy and not, all the way through risk management and education. So today, eToro users already have access to AI-related capabilities, insights, tools, either through Tori. Tori is our own in-house AI agent, or through the eToro App Store. And we haven't even stopped there. Today, eToro users also can develop and launch their own tools on the eToro App Store using AI-powered no-coding capabilities, which helps them transform their expertise into scalable solutions. So, yeah.
Very cool. And Adam, how about yourself?
Okay, so as a broker, we are around 10 years old. We made a decision a year and a half ago to buy a 45-person IT company that's filled with devs, specifically with a view to build a whole new platform so that we have full control over the tech stack. Now, AI is integrated into that, and one of the core parts is that we control the quality of the data that's going in, and for our clients and traders, they're able to access useful market insights and also assistance on risk and leverage when they conduct their trading. So it's not just a bolt-on, it's a core part of the engine room of our company that helps traders assess risk and trade effectively.
Thank you. So I think the bigger question is whether it actually helps traders make better trading decisions, or does it just simply increase activity or engagement? So do you genuinely believe AI is improving trader decision making or just increasing engagement? Carney, do you have any insights on that?
Yeah, I think that's very important. So I think if you look at 5-10 years ago, they say data is the new oil. But how do you quantify or how do you analyze data? And that's where AI come in. So data is now quantifiable based on AI matrix. They develop the AI, and they give you solutions or suggestions to the AI. And that is the core, the analytic core of AI. So, we can have all the information that CNBC or even Bloomberg shares on the CPI numbers and stuff, but who analyze them? Back then, it was us with our own prior knowledge and our own education, but now with AI, it not only complements that, but they also confirm that. So you have a double confirmation and gives you a stronger motivation to put on a trade, or more importantly, put in an investment bet.
Excellent. Yaki, anything to follow up with that?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think it's fairly safe to say that today we already have ample evidence that, AI does help with better decision making. If I'm taking myself, for example, I'm not just running Asia for eToro, I'm also an active trader myself. I'm using, Tori, I'm using AI agent, every day. It helps saves time. I no longer need to actually look at multiple feeds, websites. I can just shoot a question about any asset, any market events, and I will receive a real-time personalized insights. It does the legwork for me. It could, predict market movement based on, past historical data. And I think the most important thing is it is personalized. Okay, so when it comes at least to Tori, it has a persistent memory. It actually remembers the user's portfolio patterns, behaviors, risk tolerance level as well. And I mean, it will always continue a conversation where you left it. So there's definitely a clear evidence there for better enhanced decisions.
Adam, did you have anything else to add to that?
Absolutely. So totally agree with what Yaki said there. Prior to being with the broker, I was running systematic strategies for institutions. And as Yaki mentioned, the daily routine of checking the economic calendar, looking at charts, was quite a laborious process at times. Now with AI, of course, it can do a lot of the heavy lifting. And especially if it has context and remembers what you like to do as a routine, potentially what markets you're looking at, it can frame and shape the output that it's giving to you, and it can do it very quickly. So absolutely it's leading to more knowledge to be available to every single trader that uses the platform effectively.
Excellent. So we know that not only does AI change product, but it also changes behavior. Sometimes positively, sometimes increasing risk. So the question is, have you seen AI change trader behavior in a meaningful way, either positively or negatively? Tug, would you like to start with that?
Yeah, sure. I think AI is starting to shift the traders' behavior from like mostly in a positive way, affecting. So AI is starting to shift the traders' the reactional behavior into more structured and then disciplined behavior. So instead of like scanning charts manually, right, like looking for trades, etc., they can just define what they're looking for and they have AI to, for example, look for them, right? That's so that traders only focus on their strategy. So one great example is the automation and analysis. The colleagues are telling that. So automation and analysis, instead of like spending hours of looking for charts and etc., you can just traders can just define what they're looking for and then have AI to help them to find all these setups so that you just focus on strategy. Also, it's gonna reduce the noise as well as it's gonna remove all this emotional trading, etc. So definitely AI is affecting the traders' behavior in more positive way.
Absolutely. Thomas, how about yourself?
Well, I'd like to actually combine your last question with this one because we've been deploying AI investment intelligence for the last 7 years in banks, exchanges around the world, and we're now moving into the retail forex. And so, your previous question was engagement and activity. Now, the beauty of what we're doing here at Bridgewise and where the magic happens is when they overlap. So not only is it important for the consumers, i.e. the traders, to engage with the product, i.e. to consume the data, but that's got to translate into open positions at the end of the day to obviously increase, the broker's revenues and the activity and engagement. Positively, so leading on to your second question, of course, and I agree with the rest of the panel here. AI is a product that allows traders to, again, not only engage and learn and adapt, but it also widens their experience. I believe it gives them the opportunity to learn things that they wouldn't necessarily learn by themselves. And AI itself, especially what we're doing here at Bridgewise, is it helps clear the noise. And there's a lot of noise out there. So as long as you're using a regulated and clean AI, then that's going to actually help you in the future. So I think it's a very, very positive change to the trading environment.
Yeah,
Thank
you. Definitely. Yaki, anything else to follow up on that?
No, yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, I'm looking at, obviously, we have millions of traders on our platform. We definitely see a change in traders' behaviors. I think, AI is providing them real-time data analysis, market sentiments, predictive analytics. I think AI is also very good with just handling big chunks of data, right? So we do see traders today able to better understand, earning reports, investors' calls. So taking all this into account, we really see traders today able to react much faster and make, just more informed and timely decisions about the market. Having said that, I mean, that's obviously, I think, AI is bringing a lot of very good stuff to this world. I think it's also important to always remember not to run a risk that of over-relying on AI, right? I think we also need to talk about that as well. I mean, we all know AI models. They're based on historical data and patterns, right? But it doesn't account for unprecedented events or anomalies. And I think everybody who's been reading the news for the past 2 years know we've had a fair share of those events. So I think traders need to remember they need to combine, I think, the positive impact that AI is bringing to the trading world together with their own kind of decision-making, due diligence, and gut feel as well. It's important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the challenge for brokers is that it's not just providing information, but it's having traders feel like they're still in part of the decision-making process. They're not just being given data and told. So, having said that, how do you build trust in AI-driven insights without creating over-reliance for traders? Tug, did you want to start with this one?
Yeah, sure. So I think that's a really great question. Also, it is really pressing issue that comes with the AI booming, because now everyone is talking about AI, and then it brings all this over reliance. So I think one of the main reason traders over trust these AI insights is that they're not actually understanding how that AI insights is generated. So when something like a black box, right? People feel like they just distrust it completely, or they just trust it too much. So I think it's getting a trust on the AI inside is such as not only about accuracy, it's also about making that reasoning visible enough so that user also can make their own judgment on it. So I think the goal is shouldn't be trust the AI or etc. It should be instead understand what AI is telling, and then you decide, kind of. So that's where trust is built the right way without creating the over reliance on it.
Excellent. Thomas, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, thank you. So avoiding over-reliance, I think this is where transparency, I think, comes into when using the tool. I think it's important for people to understand that there are generic chat and AI tools out there, and then there are purpose-built proprietary tools out there, such as Bridgewise. So it's very important to understand that there are dedicated financial AI investment analysis tools that can provide you with insight. They can provide you with the analytics. They can provide you with technical and fundamentals, which you should rely on in order to make educated decisions, rather than be only focused on using it just to make decisions. So it's a tool to benefit traders, and it shouldn't be something that I think they should go to only and forget the rest of the world. There's a lot of information out there, and you've got to try and make it as concise and as clear as possible.
100%. So that's a good point. So we've talked about a lot of the things that, like, AI is moving so quickly right now that everyone's trying everything. Let's focus a little bit on what we don't think will last. So what's one thing brokers are doing today with AI that you believe will not work long term? Adam, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thanks, Vince. So I believe that if brokers are using AI purely as a marketing tool, that won't last. Okay, people are going to understand that the output coming from it, is just there to sort of drive volume. However, if you actually, and this was something that was brought up by one of the panelists before, have control over the system of the AI and the output that it's giving, and making sure that the data coming in and the sources that it's using have guardrails around it so that you can be very confident of the output, you can have a higher usability of this. So one thing we're focused on is to make sure that the whole system is essentially proprietary, and it's a tool that's specifically built for traders, not just a generic LLM that could be, what I think the term is, they say they can hallucinate sometimes, right? So the AI wants to actually please you as a human when you're interacting with it. That's not necessarily the best thing for a trader to be exposed to. That being said, one thing we're seeing is that the use of it around risk management, so our AI tool is built into the CRM, so it directly sees the positions that a trader has on their account. It's very good at providing alerts or warnings if you could be over-leveraged or you're not running appropriate risk management, such as stop losses against open positions.
Excellent. Carney, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think AI is more of an experience to enhance the user's trading, whole journey, but not as a marketing tool like what you said. So the core is that AI helps you with the experience, but if you over rely on it, and if the trade turns south, who is there to take the blame? Is it the broker? Is it the client and stuff? There's no one. It's just how you decipher the results from AI. So like what all the panelists say, that we cannot over rely on it, but use it as a form of ideal data to further analyze. So I call it the layer 2 data. So the second thing about AI is that it's embedded in our lives, like how e-commerce is embedded. So ChatGPT right now is a noun, and it's a verb in our daily life, and we cannot live without it. So all the brokers' experience has to be enhanced from today onwards after what happened to how AI disrupted our industry. However, like we said, the wins or loss can't be defined by AI, and even the likes of other features like copy trading and many more. So when we boil down to AI, how do the brokers use them is very essential, and how do we illustrate this AI feature on the platform is very essential, because we don't want the end clients to get an adverse reaction by using AI. So that's, I think, the essential point why what is AI not beneficial in the industry.
Excellent. Tug, how about yourself?
I really agree with the Mr. Adam and Mr. Carney. My idea is also, one thing that's not going to work in the long term is using AI as just a label on the lot of platforms. They're just adding AI as just on the surface. So without creating the real capability behind it. So I think brokers really need to start investing into AI technologies or partnering with the AI startups to bring up all these values for the clients, so that the clients are with the all this data-based good insights, so that they make a better decision.
Excellent. Anything that you guys would like to add to that, or?
Well, being the fourth one, it looks as though I'm stealing everybody's ideas, but
Yeah.
Adam, Carney, and Tug have basically hit the nail on the head here.
Yeah.
And I like to say historically, not as if like AI has been around for that long, but it was brought in, and a lot of companies were using it to churn clients at the end of the day, just to bring it in, let's churn the clients out, let's get the LTV, let's get the money in. So this was definitely a bad thing that I think brokers were adopting AI for. And so how can you change that? Again, not to use it in order to churn clients, but to have a compliant and regulatory approved product that interrogates audited and legitimate data sources in order to return investment, call it advice or information, in order to make correct trades and to build, again, confidence in themselves as a trader. So this is the thing that I believe it's also very important, and all the panelists here are correct. Using these general ChatGPT and Claude, if you type Apple, it tells you what would you like, green or red. Where if you're using a legitimate product, an AI tool, you type Apple, it will start giving you obviously all the relevant information regarding the stock itself, with perhaps deep links to platforms and calls to action and so on and so forth. So keep it legit, keep it concise, and make sure you're using correct and audited technology.
Excellent. So I think it's safe to say that moving forward, most Forex brokers are going to be just simply, we'll all be applying AI. So the question is not, are you applying it, but how are you going to use it to improve your operations and improve it better? So I have a question for everyone on the panel. I think if every broker has access to similar AI tools, what will actually differentiate the leaders? Adam, did you want to start, and we'll work our way down?
I seem to be starting first. Sorry about this, because I'm next to you, Vince. So I think we've touched on some of these components before, which again is, don't use it as a marketing tool. The key part, I believe, is that you need to control the system, have built it yourself, not just rely on third-party applications, unless, such as IC Candle, you understand exactly how their AI is working and what sort of inputs there are. One of the benefits about having owned and operated AI processes is that you can control the data that's coming in, and you can also shape it to context and usability around what your clients are after. And that's the other big thing I'd say as well, is the ability to enhance it from the user feedback is another core component which you can only do if you own and operate the system.
Excellent. Carney.
Okay, so I have a lot of views on this because everyone's using AI wrongly. Yeah, so especially the brokers. So, I would name the broker, one of the brokers I log in, and they will have API plugins from Perpetuity. So I use that, I leverage that to research on my US stocks for free. But they don't offer any US stocks on the platform itself. So you see, they are using it for wrong reasons, and it doesn't enhance the experience or drive me or motivate me to trade on their platform. So more important is strip off AIs to all the brokers, right? What do we have, right? I think that it's all about friction localization. You want to go to certain countries, you don't have their localized setup, you don't have the customer support, you don't have all this. It's still a ground zero for you guys. So the key is all about, one good feature, but how to use the feature to experience the whole overall experience of the whole trading in that country or in that community. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is that, AI is used to enhance experience, not to complicate stuff. So if you have a full-fledged broker or platform that offers ChatGPT, Perpetuity, IC Candle, and maybe 5 or 6 other AI tools, so the trader will be more confused than, it applies. If 5 different AI tools converge to different suggestions or solutions, in the end, the trade will not be made. So the question is, is that what you want from a platform perspective? Okay. And the last but not least, I think is one of the most important thing is that not every country requires that kind of setup for trading. As you know, I expanded the broker all around Southeast Asia. Malaysia runs differently. Indonesia runs differently. They go for trading community, trading academy that uses AI, but some doesn't use AI, and it might differ their way of teaching. So imagine you push AI solutions to a trading community that really rely on naked candlesticks, and then it disrupts the whole teaching and it disrupts the whole community, and then the trade turns south. I don't think it's a very good experience for people that really advocate for your platform. So we need to be very concise and specific on how we want to release these AI tools, than just plugging it like it's the new norm.
Excellent. Yaki?
I'm really curious to know who are those platforms you're talking about. I think it's very clear that, using AI nowadays is no longer good to have, it's a must. And I think every platform that respects itself already embedded AI in the platform, but that's just the fundamental layer. I think where the key differentiation is really at the quality and the accuracy of the AI algorithm. It's in the user experience, it's in the ease of use, it's in the personalized insights, it's in the education, it's in the risk management. And I think platforms that actually score high on those parameters which I've just highlighted will be the one leading the way in the future.
Excellent. Thomas?
Thank you. So I'd like to actually combine what Adam and what Yaki have just said. So it's all about integrity, it's all about transparency, and then in order to provide the relevant and correct and clean and unbiased information to your traders. Now that leads to a second question, and unlike, as Adam was saying, they're in the very fortunate position to go out and buy a company and bring that in-house, which then brings the question of build versus buy. So if you are and why would you buy something? So like you said perfectly well, in order to provide hallucination-free, clean, concise, legitimate, audited data that you will pass on to your traders in order to influence their confidence and for them to make educated trades at the end of the day. So that's obviously of paramount importance. Not all brokers have the ability to do that in-house. So therefore, the build versus buy question here, I think, is very relevant. And as Yaki says, you can't just use your chat GPTs and your Claudes. This is not investment information. It's an AI tool, you're absolutely right, and you can use it in order to build a funnel or to bring traders or potential prospective traders to your brand. But in order for them to use it, in order to complement and to build trust within the products you're delivering to them, it has to be that legitimate source. And I think that's where we as Bridgewise really step in as actually the only regulated and compliant platform currently worldwide. So thank you for that. Great question. Great question.
Tug, yourself?
Okay. So, if every broker has access to the same AI tool, then access is not like a differentiation, right? It's all about how you use it. So I think all these leaders will invest early, and they're gonna partner with the AI startups, or they just build in-house, so that AI is inevitable, right? It's coming for everyone. So I think the ones who really understand where it is going and built into they create the value for the clients, and then just in the long run, it creates the value for the clients are the ones who will stand out, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I'll just add to that. At Acuity, we noticed that obviously personalization is a big deal, especially in for brokers, right? So it's not just providing excellent data or information, but it's timely data and it's personalized to the trader. Not everybody needs to get gold information if they don't trade gold. So it's a matter of understanding what your traders need, when they need it, and the level of information that they want. And that way it's clarity over noise. So yeah, that's excellent. I have a question for anyone who wants to take this, but this is more for the crowd, is that if you're a broker right now looking at AI as a complete newcomer, what would be a recommendation for a first use case or something to avoid? Any piece of advice from use cases that any of you have come across in the past that would be helpful to someone who's clean and fresh from an AI perspective? Anybody wants to take it?
I'll take that if I can. Yeah, Adam, thank you. Always going first. So we've been delivering, as I mentioned earlier, for 7 years to institutions, exchanges worldwide, across the globe. From the Americas through to Europe, to Middle East, Asia, and what we've discovered and what we've seen here is that across the globe there are different responses and different ways in which AI is adopted. And it's very important, again, to ensure clarity, timely, personalized usage. So I think it's very important for institutions and brokers worldwide to make sure that they're on the right track using, and to differentiate themselves is, again, to use reliant, clean. I can't reiterate that point enough. These generic AIs are not built for this industry, as you know very well. And so it's very, very important to make sure that you're using the right product, because there's a lot out there and there's a lot of noise, and you've got to be able to deliver that pinpoint information so that people can use it.
Definitely. Adam, did you have something to add?
Absolutely. So someone first looking at using AI for trade recommendations, please remember that it's still your responsibility. The AI is not managing your account. There is a massive benefit that people can access now. So if you're a portfolio manager at a bank or a large fund, and let's say you're responsible for the dollar-yen exposure of a large equity fund that's investing globally. In the morning meeting, you might have access to an in-house economist that's going to talk about what impacts might be coming up over the next week. There could also be a strategist, and maybe that strategist focuses more on technicals or technical analysis, and he'll bring up chart formations and draw lines and indicators, and that'll be another point of view. Then there could also be the risk manager involved. Now, with all those multi-inputs, the portfolio manager is the person responsible for actually pulling the trigger and making the trade. That portfolio manager is not in a position to 1 or 2 weeks later, if the trade isn't panning out, go and blame the economist or blame the strategist or whoever else is in that room. It's their responsibility. So anyone using AI for the first time, please be, that's what I'd say, be very aware that you are responsible for the risk and your position sizing and also taking the trade.
Excellent point. Carney.
Yeah, I think it's very important that we see AI. We don't over rely AI as a key killer function of your platform, because the key is all the user experience to reduce friction. No point having a key killer function AI, decision making to without disregarding the whole personalized, that you can use AI to reduce KYC time, payment friction, and even customer support. I think a lot of traders prefer that. Who am I to say that, I have a killer trading tool, but my whole sign-up process is not AI powered, all right? So I rather have both. And second is, we still see the core. Will you want multi-products, multi-assets from all like industry, like US stocks and everything, compared to, maybe 5 or 6 products powered by AI? I think the key is we, as traders, as investors, and more importantly, as platform owners, right, we need to know the core is not just AI. The core is, I want to trade multi-products, make money, or make good decisions on that, and AI is here to help.
Excellent. Anybody else, or we good?
Well, just actually, again, there's this thing called analysis paralysis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, and so bringing institutional grade tech to the retail forex market, I think, is something that's really going to be a game changer, because the retail traders want to use what the big boys have, and this big boy data is now available and available to the masses. Again, I keep repeating, and I want to make sure that it's in legitimate, audited, and purpose-built proprietary AI engines, and not your chat GPT. So this, for me, as a warning, as you were saying, to first-time users, make sure that you are using legitimate data sources and not, your chat GPTs, especially for financial information and advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, if you're using AI correctly and the data is being produced properly, it's not just an acquisition tool, it's a retention tool. So it's massive for brokers to help differentiate themselves. Okay, I think we have a couple minutes left, so if we can open up to the crowd, does anybody have any questions they would like to send the panel's way before we wrap it up?
Hi guys. IC Candle has been our long-term project between Tug and me and different founder, and we really wanted to. I'm a trader myself for 12 plus years, and we really wanted to give that. If the trade is 100%, then we want to give them a 70% on the way. If you're looking for the for your favorite pattern, then you can get it with the notification while you're working out. So, but there is still things are missing in finding a value, especially in equities. So stocks are undervalued, overvalued, doesn't matter, we don't know. The market decides it. However, we have book to ratio value. We have different value, Sharpe ratio, blah, blah. How do we find the stock's intrinsic value with AI? What are your thoughts on this? That's what I'm really interested in finding out.
Well, a stock's value is where buyers and sellers meet. That's its current price. The intrinsic value, as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And that's the market, right? I haven't met an AI yet that is effective at picking the share price movements over the next 2 weeks. But maybe there is one out there.
Yeah, I think to answer the question, I use perpetuity. And what they screen is not intrinsic value, but they will just share with you all the bank, buy cost, sell cost, their estimated value. I think that's the best. They pull out information. But what I see from your angle is more of the market depth and the trading volume. So one day this particular stock goes up to the top 100 traded volume, then they will digest and they will feed you APIs or notification or what's happening. So you can digress and understand, oh, why this stock went up 30% or why this stock went down 30%. And at least they give you a real-time reason to it, rather than you wait for the news wires to report to you and say, oh, what's happening. So I think that's what I like.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else want to? Okay. Any other questions in the crowd before we wrap up? We've got a minute left. No? Okay. Well, guys, thank you for
thank you very much.
And thank you everyone for coming. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.